Here is Chris with today's topic.
Yeah.
With one of your other subsidiaries
Yeah.
inventions. And this is I every now and then when I've talked to people I never mentioned BioLargo to previously, they've never heard of BioLargo, most of them,
Right.
but they have heard of Pooph.
Yeah. Right.
You
Exactly.
can't.
They did a great marketing job. Yeah. I
And
know.
folks, those of you, and here you'll see a couple examples on the screen, who have witnessed one of the many over the last couple, 3 years, whatever it has been, commercials about Poof. The company that you licensed your odor removing technology to, which is great. I can swear to it myself because
Yeah.
we
It
have a
really worked.
dog that every once in a while doesn't make it out, especially during the night. And I
Yep.
spray this on the carpet, and honest,
Knocks
almost
it out.
instantly the urine smell's gone.
Right.
And I don't know what else is out there that can do that. Okay.
Not much. Not
But you
much.
guys, you guys invented this formula. You licensed it to a Japanese company, Ikigai. You
Yep.
got a lot of revenues for a while, and then all of a sudden they decided to shortchange in number one on what they owe you, and secondly, in a way
Well,
that they think they were going to get around it to change the formula. So they're actually selling a bootleg false product.
yeah. So we want to be careful with the words, but yes.
Yeah,
So we do have a case, a litigation case. But yeah, I think there's a couple of takeaways that are really important. Number one, our technology enabled the creation of a national brand called
right.
Pooph. And they were great marketeers, so I got to give them credit. They're really good at it.
Oh, they
And
were
and
great.
as they got into success, though, they got somewhat a series of issues hit them, and they got out over their skis a bit. And so at that moment, you reach a crossroads where, what are you going to do, left or right? And they chose, in our opinion, the wrong path. But in any event, our technology created 66,000 positive reviews on Amazon. You'll notice now that they've created a new product without our technology in it, and they have, I don't know if it's zero, but they don't have 66,000 positive reviews. And they had a stint in which it was pulled down. And so we're very troubled by the idea that the Poof brand, which was built on our claim set, is now not the same product. We're very troubled by that. And so we're keeping a close eye. Um, from a business perspective, there's basically three ways to deal with this. One is um, they owe us the money, so we intend on pursuing collections. So that's underway. The second is we're going to protect our intellectual property. Protecting intellectual property means what? Revoke a license, get your attorneys involved, and make sure that the technology is intact. We're not going to allow for it to cause IP slippage, and that's not going to happen. We're not going to allow that to happen. Second is we can do a couple of things. We can create our own brand because we got the know-how and the tools and all the resources to do that. That's one. We can partner up with a new brand. That's fine. That's a good option. Maybe there's a way to reunite the brand. I don't know. I suspect that in any event, it's going to reposition. So if you think strategically as a CEO for a minute, everybody sit in the CEO spot with me for a minute. Think about what we're facing, right? We know our technology built the brand with great marketing. You don't diminish that. But the embodiment of the product is all the claims. And all those claims are our claims.
Mhm.
All of them. 100%. So break it down at the molecular level, right? No stain, no toxicity, no sensitivity. Uh, Eliminates odor on contact. Those are our claims. Those are our claims associated with our technology. So we intend on preserving those and competing very aggressively to make sure that the great product is available for use in the market, not a brand that does not include that technology that allowed those claims to be made.
Right.
It's really that simple. So yeah, we took a little hit, and the market jittered. And so to me, the good news for our investors is to really consider that a notching down of our market value, knowing that the core value is still here and it's going to continue to rise up. So it created a buying opportunity. I hope people can see that. And of course, we've seen the void fill with the way the market has soaked up what we would consider some cheap shares at the moment.
Yeah.
Go back to that bull case debate. But
Well, and I
anyway, we'll
think
come
that
through this better. That's the
yeah,
answer. We'll
I
come through it
think you
better.
will too. And just from what the revenues are quite likely to be from Cleara in the
Yeah.
next year, that is potentially going to dwarf
Well,
what
and
your cut
also
was
the
from
beauty in our
Pooph.
business is that really our overhead's pretty low. I mean, the way to think about it is we do a lot with a little, And so as a result, our core operations can stabilize really easily. And we demonstrated this in this spot. We're pursuing collection of $4 million roughly. And that's a lot of money. And I think for a lot of companies, it might put them out of business. And for us, we just almost didn't miss a beat because we operate so conservatively in the
Yeah.
way that our platform is structured. And we have multiple revenue sources that carry the day, support our infrastructure, which is awesome. And so, again, one of the questions often asked is, so how do you fill this gap? You say, well, I've got like 12 different ways to fill that gap. And so each one we're picking away. And then as it rises up, we cash flow. It's actually a really fine model. That diversification has protected the portfolio. And it goes back to that core valuation debate of, who are we? Well, we're the innovator that fills gaps in the global markets and expands with partnerships for impact. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the company is. We're not a pet product company.
Right.
We're a technology company that enables a pet product company to dominate a world market. And you know what? There's other companies that are going to want to dominate a world market.
Yeah. Well, that's neat. You've got so many moving parts and so much unrealized value, but the exciting thing as we go into 2026 is that on at least two fronts that are evident right in our face right now with the
Yeah.
PFAS launch in New Jersey, with the
Yeah.
Clear's the commencement of sales, and then a bigger commercialized
That's
sales.
right.
You're going to show sooner rather than later in this new year that you've got some pretty good chops as far as revenue starting to be
I think so
realized
too.
from these things.
We believe
And
that for sure.
yeah,
We really do. And we always say a prayer. There's things beyond our control. We pray for those, and then we pray, and then we stay the course. I mean,
yeah.
that's it. We stay the course and do the work, lay down the bricks, brick by brick by brick by brick, and then all of a sudden you look up and say, "Oh my goodness, they did it!" And you say, "Yeah, that's
Well, it's
BioLargo."
like Saint Augustine, who my present abode, my adopted hometown now here in Saint Augustine is how they pronounce the city, Florida. But Saint Augustine, who it's named for, famously said, "You do what you can do, and you pray for what you can't do."
Absolutely right. That's
Yeah,
right. I mean, there's a lot of things beyond our control, and that's the beauty in our company. I mean, this is a long cycle, and
yeah,
we're in it long, and all the founders are in long. Nobody's ever been a seller. I mean, it's a beautiful business, really. It's a
yeah,
beautiful company, especially I think the mark for our long-term heritage of, whatever it is going to be the impact.
yeah,
That's what people will remember. We're gonna transform infection control in the hospital. We're gonna transform the way wounds heal for diabetic ulcers and
yeah,
seniors. I mean, like change it
yeah.
permanently forever. That's what we're talking about. And the same thing
Very
for
big.
energy. We can reshape the entire landscape of energy storage for the domestic US and other countries globally. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
And PFAS is estimated $17 trillion market. Yeah, we can solve that one. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding. And
yeah,
and that's why our company gets up every day and goes to work to see these
yep,
things come to bear.
yeah. And again, it looks like you're going to realize a lot more pay dirt in the new year than you've probably ever seen, even during the
Oh,
best
it's
days of the revenue from Pooph. So,
well, we
hey,
know that. That's right. And we're so
congratulations.
excited. Well,
Yeah,
it's an exciting time. It's
yeah,
like I always have a joke, and I do mean it as a joke. Our engineers will call and say they're doing this thing, and I'll say, "Are you telling me it actually works?" And they go, it's a joke. Yeah, it actually works. I'm like, oh, thank God it actually works because it's really critical, right? Because it takes it's taken us 18 years to establish the credibility to do the things
right.
that we do. And it takes a minute to break it down. So we
Yeah,
cherish that credibility and we protect it and preserve it, which is goes back to even Poof, why we're not going to tolerate anything less than excellence,
yeah,
period. We're just not. And
yeah,
that's difficult, but in the long run, it lasts
yeah.
forever. And that's
Great.
our business.
Yeah,
All right.
great stuff.
Thank
Folks,
you, Chris.
make sure that you take a serious look right now at BioLargo. The valuation right now, Dennis said it, I'll say it again, does not begin to reflect this company's underlying value. And I think we're going to see that in dollars and cents in a couple of these ways with revenue early on in 2026. And don't wait until that is realized and it's re-rated. Take your positions now before that re-rating comes, which I really
Yeah.
believe it will.
People often, I'll help with that too, Chris. People often say, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, like some bad thing's going to happen. It's like, I don't know what that would be. I mean, in our business, it's so predictable. It really is. It's so predictable. Now, the timing is always uncertain, but
Sure.
what we do, why we do, how we do, it's all predictable.
Right.
And one time my wife says to me, I said to her, "I'm so sorry I'm so predictable." She said, "Honey, I love you. You're so predictable." In other words, what are we saying? We're going to do the work to see the technology find its market,
Yeah.
and it's real, and it has a transformative opportunity. And
Yeah.
is that easy? No, it's extraordinarily difficult.
Yeah.
But here we are at the end of the investment cycle. That's why people should look at the company.
For sure.
All
For
right.
sure. And make sure
Amen.
you do, folks. So, Dennis, thanks so much for your time. Very happy New Year to you and your family. And
Thanks,
we'll
Chris.
be in touch hot and heavy as things unfold in 2026.
Right on. Happy New Year.
Take
Thanks.
care.